This is the dark side of perfume. We often think of perfume as a product that is pure, natural, and gentle, but the truth can be far stranger because many of the world's most popular perfumes have bizarre backstories. It literally smells like one of the most expensive materials in perfumery. The population's declined by 50%, over $2 million US. We are pretty new to YouTube, so to thank you for being here at the beginning, we are giving away a bottle of the brand new Venice Rococo. This is the new drop from Artiste, inspired by a Venetian hideaway. It's already receiving massive acclaim online and happens to contain an ingredient that we're going to talk about shortly. To win, all you have to do is click the link at the top of the description and sign up to Fiole with your email. There we share the latest in fine fragrance as well as extra little tidbits about the world of perfumery, and of course is where we will announce the winner of this beautiful scent. If you're watching this after the giveaway closes, don't worry, there will be more to come, so make sure you are subscribed to the channel and let's get started. These are the true stories of some of perfumery's strangest ingredients. From the miracle find of Ambergris to the barbarianism that gave us Civet and Castoreum, the influence of these products still echoes around the world today. It might feel strange to us now that many people felt so remorseless about using products that in many cases were hideously cruel, but it's important to recognize that at the time these ingredients were at their height, people lived in a different time. There are a huge number of historical, cultural, and practical reasons that people tolerated these ingredients for so long. Firstly, all of these scents were at some point associated with the idea of luxury and status. They were symbols of wealth and sophistication, which made them hugely desirable. There was also limited awareness. Many of the processes about how they were made were kept out of public view. Less knowledge meant less awareness and therefore less concern. But even for those that did know, many of these scents were just part of a cultural norm, steeped in traditions that were very hard to break. But perhaps the most important factor in their long-standing continuation is that despite how strange they might sound to us, people did and still do truly love to smell them. It's estimated that around 80 to 90% of all perfumes on today's market contain some kind of musk. Valued for its ability to provide an intoxicating scent, often with phenomenal longevity, many people liken it to the ultimate aphrodisiac, the scent of someone's skin. However, the musk you will smell nowadays is designed to mimic a material originally derived from an animal that can be found in southern Asia. The male musk deer is a primarily nocturnal animal that often inhabits dense forest areas. They secrete a sticky fluid to attract a mate, and this secretion is incredibly potent. For centuries, it was one of the most sought-after materials in the world. But to get a hold of it involved capturing the animal and removing the gland, known as a musk pod, so it could be dried and processed for a usable material. Now, the asking price was already pretty high, thanks to a combination of scarcity, labor-intensive harvesting, potency, and supposed medicinal qualities. But when the demand grew, in some regions, the populations declined by 50%, which drove the price of musk up even further. But in 1888, a scientist called Albert Bauer, who was working on a more effective version of TNT, started laying the road for its eventual ban when he accidentally created the first ever synthetic musk. Nowadays, there are a ton of different musks on the market. Many are synthetic, but some are plant-based. Ambretseed is often nicknamed vegetable musk because it's the closest plant-based material to the original scent of animal musk. One of my absolute favorites is Misfit by Artiste. It's punchy, it's potent, it's dark, with all of the musk and none of the animal. You can sample Misfit via the link in the description. Ambergris, or Ambergris, is one of the most mysterious perfume ingredients of all time, often nicknamed floating gold. Nobody truly knows how it came to be, because it's one of the only ingredients, in fact it might actually be the only ingredient, let me know in the comments if you know, that can't be harvested, it has to be found. If you're ever walking along the beach and stumble across something that looks like this, you might be about to make a lot of money. It's believed that this potent lump of mush is the byproduct of a sperm whale's digestive system, who will exit it when it gets too big. This strange material that some people believe is a kind of natural plaster floats to the top of the ocean. There it will dry between the salt water and the sun, and after a while will start to emit a scent. In the beginning, this scent is pretty gross, but after a while it starts to take on this rather beautiful quality. A lot of people liken it to tobacco, but with extra floral and salty marine nuances. When it washes up on a beach, it's often mistaken for a rock, but if you're savvy enough to recognize it, it can pay dividends. The record goes to a fisherman from Oman who found 18 180 kilograms, that's 176 pounds of ambergris. He sold this chance finding for over $2 million US. It also happens that the main molecule responsible for ambergris's scent can be found in nature, meaning that you no longer have to wait for it to be found or part with huge sums of money in order to enjoy it. I think that one of the best plant-based ambergris fragrances is Gdansk by Galavant, and you can check it out via the link in the description. I'm just cutting in here to say that we are pretty new to YouTube, so if you like what you see, please do hit subscribe. We'd really appreciate it. It's strange how some repulsive ingredients can be really attractive. And there is a very fine line between the beautiful and the bizarre. Skatole is so overpowering that it has to be diluted down to less than 1%. The name comes from a Greek word meaning dung or excrement, because skatole is a naturally occurring compound that can be found in the digestive systems of mammals. It is a key contributor to the smell of feces. But here's the twist. Skatole can also be found in flowers like jasmine and orange blossom. Many plants emit tiny amounts of skatole, so small that you wouldn't even notice it. However, it can be isolated, meaning it's extracted out so that you can have it on its own. And on its own, it's a very powerful ingredient. You probably think, but why would a perfumer want an ingredient that literally smells like shit? Well, the answer is pretty simple. Firstly, skatole has phenomenal longevity. It can really enrich a perfume, making it a really useful tool. But more importantly, when it's used in very low concentrations, it actually doesn't smell bad at all. In fact, it becomes quite sweet and floral. Diluted down, it ceases to become foul-smelling and becomes just another shade of color that can be added to the perfumer's palette and used to create beautiful works of art. This is a mature beaver. Near this beaver's pelvis is a little sac which produces a yellowish substance that it uses to mark its territory. This substance is known as Castoreum, and it is incredibly potent. It was mistakenly believed to have medicinal properties, and in the early 1900s it was even used as a food flavoring. But where the world really came to love Castoreum was through perfumery. Perfumers prized it for its potency and of course for its complex scent, which is often described as rich and leathery, sometimes as inky or a little bit fruity. It played a crucial role in some of the most iconic fragrances of all time. But needless to say, it was a product derived of great cruelty. And thankfully, Castoreum is now illegal in most of the world. But it remains an important part of a perfumer's palette. So is now created using synthetics or other materials that can mimic its powerful animal-like scent. My personal favorite is Saffron Rose by Grossmith, which again, you can check out via the link. Civet was once one of the most expensive materials in perfumery. It came from a type of cat who secreted a musky, sticky yellow fluid specifically for marking territory, and this secretion was once extracted by removing glands from near its anus. Ugh. Civet is incredibly potent. It has remarkable staying power, which made it a favorite among loads of perfumers. It features in tons of iconic scents like Chanel's No. 5 or Jiki by Guerlain. However, the cruelty involved was undeniable, and thankfully the industry now uses synthetic alternatives like Civetone or other materials to replicate that loud scent without having to harm the animals. What's most fascinating to me about all these ingredients is the mark that they have left on modern perfumery. Venice Rococo by Arquiste, the perfume that's part of our giveaway, was released in the middle of 2024 and has a Civet accord, which grounds the light, powdery, fluffy aspects of the perfume and makes it feel somehow more grown up and sophisticated. So, whilst the use of controversial ingredients might seem shocking to us, it's undeniable that they played a crucial role in shaping the world of perfumery as we know it. They have not only defined some of history's most iconic fragrances, but have also inspired the development of safer, kinder, and more sustainable alternatives. Some of these materials have a shameful history, there's no doubt, but they've also provided lessons to help us lead towards a more conscious future for perfume. And in many ways, the dark legacy of these ingredients has pushed us to evolve and challenges us to find a way to balance art with ethical responsibility. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe and sign up with your email via the link below to be in with a chance to win the consciously created and beautiful fragrance that is Venice Rococo. Peace!